Thanks for taking the time today, Coach. Would you like to open up with a statement or just go to questions?
Ready questions.
Perfect. And we ask guys, just please use the raise hand icon if you want to ask a question, and we can open it up. Anybody would like to open up with the first question, go ahead. Start Chris Jenkins.
Coach.
Hey Matt, how does Shaq Thompson look out there, and you feel like he's ready to go?
I sure hope so. He practiced today, in full pads, ran around. He was limited in terms of the amount of reps we gave him. So we'll see how he progresses through the rest of this week. Kind of always that first time back. You have to see how he looks tomorrow, feels tomorrow. But I'm hopeful he'll have a chance to play.
Are we going to Chris Jenkins?
Hey, Coach, I actually have two questions. The first one is if you can give us a little preview about how practice went. I know you guys had a pretty good practice a couple of weeks ago. I'm just interested in seeing how the guys responded after the loss, and if you could also touch on the quarterback reps today, if possible.
Yeah, Sam took all the 1 reps. PJ took all the 2 reps. And I thought it was a good practice. The guys obviously, know that this is a great team we're facing in the Atlanta Falcons. We're 1-0 in the NFC South, and it's a unique year in that 4 of our last 5 games are NFC South games. So, this is our next one, and it's the last one for a while. So they practiced well. We have some guys back from injury that are practicing out there, which is great. And we'll just have to finish it up with another one tomorrow.
And then just the second part of the question was about this Atlanta Falcons team that you're facing. What are some of the things that you see that they do well on both the offense and defensive side of the ball?
Well, offensively, they're a tremendous wide zone team. Obviously they have Matt Ryan, Calvin Ridley, Kyle Pitts is playing really well. Mike Davis, Cordell Patterson. They've got, a ton of skill, and they're really getting all those guys involved. They play in a ton of different personnel groupings and formations. They're a challenge to you that way. They're doing some wildcat. They're doing a little bit of everything. And but at the end of the day, Coach Smith, they're going to run the football, and they're running it well. So excellent third down team. I think they're 4th in the NFL right now on third down. Their special teams are excellent. Our guys learned last game, just sort of the field position, and, we knew it, but I'm saying obviously the field position came back and got us this past game. And then, defensively, they give you a ton of different looks. Obviously, Grady Jarrett's one of the best in the game. They're fast, they're physical. So it's a really good team that we're facing.
Thank you.
We're going to Skylar Callahan, followed by Joe Person.
Hey Matt, with John on IR now, does that open the door for Dennis Daly to slide back in, or is there a possibility where Brady or Trent kick inside the guard?
Yeah, we're practicing all those guys there right now. Trenton went in the game last game. Obviously Dennis has started there and played there. So, we kind of have all those guys, ready to rep. So we'll see how practice goes and go with the best 5, we feel like, on game day.
Matt, there have been multiple reports that you guys will not be pursuing Deshaun Watson. I know you can't speak specifically to him, but could you maybe just sort of address you guys not being ostensibly in the market for a quarterback?
Kind of like I said the other day, for me right now, I'm focused on this week and trying to beat Atlanta, and feel really good about Sam. Obviously, it wasn't a great game this past game. I think at the end of the day, when Sam goes back and watches himself, or our whole team goes back and watches himself against the New Orleans Saints, we see, exactly what he is and was and can be, and we just had to get him back to that spot. So obviously, as you know, I can't comment on any other player, but I'm focused on Sam and trying to get him back to the level he was playing at. And I think that has to be everyone's focus, on the O-line, receiver, everyone.
Also wanted to ask you, I know you met with Joe on Monday morning. You feel like you guys are in a good place, on the same page where the run game's concerned and overall? Yeah,
absolutely. I think when you go back and really have a chance, Joe, to watch the tape, I think one of the things that, really stands out is, we ran the ball 33 times against the Saints. We only averaged like 2.2 yards a carry. Like, we're running the ball better now than we did back then. But we ran it a bunch of times. The biggest thing was we were able to stay on the field and convert third downs. And, go back to the Eagles game and the Giants game, we're in the teens in terms of our third down percentages. So I think it's almost like we just said, hey, what's really the issues right now? I think one of those is third down. So we've obviously made that an emphasis this week. If we want to run the football, we have to stay on the field. We have to convert third downs. This is a really good run defense. Grady Jarrett's an excellent player. They got a lot of excellent players. I feel like Joe and I are 100% on the same page with regards to that. Now we have to go out and execute it. And, but I think the big thing is how it all plays together. So, Joe and his staff, they're doing a great job this week. I like the plan that they have so far. And I just have to continue to work it all the way through Sunday.
Go to David Newton, followed by Jonathan Alexander.
Wanted to ask you, with all you've gone through on the offensive line this year, and you see teams that are most successful are ones that can keep that group together, continuity and all that. How big of a struggle has that been for you guys?
I think all of us, would say, and in the National Football League, you win with obviously great quarterback play, O&D lines, and then probably corner. At least that's kind of the way we've looked at it. We've done a great job of, I think, drafting and building, the defensive line to the point where we're one of the top, defenses, and we get pressure on the quarterback, and it's not perfect yet, but we're working. Offensively, we have a lot of guys that we like, and we made a huge investment in Taylor Moton. We've got guys that, Johnny, who has been banged up all year, and hated seeing him going on IR. Matt, who's a tough veteran, guy who's an excellent center. And but to your point, we've had a lot of guys kind of in and out of the lineup. We had guys banged up. We've had guys, you have a rookie in Brady Christensen that's had to start a game at right tackle and flip over and start a game at left tackle. That's not perfect. Kind of a lot of times when I was being asked, hey, when's Brady going to play? And I kind of would say, hey, you don't want to play him too early. We want to get him kind of comfortable. We've played him early. So I say all that to say, obviously we'd love to have continuity on the offensive line. We'd love to not have those guys banged up. We'd love to, be in that spot. But I like the way that I do like the way that they're getting better. I think Michael Jordan's been an excellent addition for us. And Dennis Daly can absolutely do it. We just need Dennis Daly to do it. And, that's sort of the central beliefs for us, on our organization, is that players win games. And we came here and said, hey, we want to build a great defense. We want to be able to run the football. We have one of the premier running backs in the National Football League, and Christian McCaffrey. We drafted Chuba, and we got really good tight ends playing right now, Ian and Tommy. We just got to stay with it and just get a little bit better. So I love those guys to stay healthy, but it is giving us an opportunity to see some other guys like Michael. And when he goes out there, we say to ourselves, hey, that's a guy that we can coach and continue to get better. So we'd love continuity, but it is what it is right now. We just got to coach our way through it and play our way through it. And I'm expecting our guys to play better and better football every week.
One more thing, has there ever been a time in your career where you felt like the team, I guess it would have been in college, wasn't committed to the run, and you had to do something to kind of recommit it to there? And how tough is that? Because it takes a lot of patience to stay committed to the run.
I think there's been times in my career as a head coach where we've gotten into some games and been like, hey, this because of this defense, we're going to have to throw it, 30, 40, 50 times. And those have never really worked out very well for me in the long run. But I think the biggest thing I'll say, though, is it's not just about calling runs. It's about staying on the field, converting third down. It's about all those things together. So I think when I go back and really watch the tape, I really sit down and watch the tape, whether it's the way Sam's playing, it's our D line, it always goes back to me to, just some fundamentals, some communication, some execution. It's never quite as bad as it looks. You always say to yourself, hey, it's a block here, it's a block there. And that's still losing football. Make no mistake. We got to get past that. Okay. But I know we have to run the football. I mean, that's the whole plan when we came here is, hey, we have to run the football. We have to play great defense. We have to build really good special teams. I think you can see the defense coming together. We just have to run the football and stay on the field on third downs. And I think that when we've done that, we've been a pretty good team. We haven't done that. We didn't do that last week. And so we have a chance again this week versus a really good front. And, we have to find a way to get it done.
Matt, do you anticipate Stephon Gilmore having a good chance at playing this week?
Yeah, he practiced today. Excited to see him out there. he's kind of like in that same situation with Shaq. I'm hoping that he responds well each day and that, he's ready to go on Sunday. So I'll take it day by day, but I'm hopeful, obviously.
So I don't know how extensively y'all's conversations have been with Sam, but have y'all been able to, I guess, identify why his fundamentals may have slipped? You talk about getting back to fundamentals. So why those gone away?
Yeah, Jonathan, I think it's a great question. And I don't think I'm, putting Sam out there in any way. I think when you go back and watch him throw a route against New Orleans, and then you fast forward to Philly, then you fast forward to this past game, I think just his tempo, he's way faster, he's way quicker. Whereas his drops were getting, his back foot was hitting at 9, he's now up to like 8. So I just think Sam's a guy right now, or at least this past Sunday, and some of the games that was just playing a little too quick, not having the right tempo, not playing at the right depth. Climbing up in the pocket too much. I mean, he's at 4 and 5 yards sometimes. And so those are all correctable. And it's something that sometimes you have to correct, but you had to, he came in this morning, him and I sat down and watched the Saints game, and you have to see yourself doing it. So there's no doubt he can do it, right? There's no doubt. I just think, it's like you're trying so hard to win that you start trying to do too much and play a little faster, and all of a sudden you look up one day and you're just a little bit harried, you're not quite in rhythm. And so I've got to try to get him back in rhythm. Obviously, great D linemen try to get you out of rhythm. But I think when he plays in rhythm and plays within the system, he's been excellent. So that's my job right now, as the head coach, and then the position coaches and coordinators' job to, help him get there.
All right, we'll go to Sharon Thorsland, followed by Steve Reed.
Hey, Coach. Can you describe Kyle Pitts as a player, and why do you think he's been so successful in making the transition to the NFL?
Yeah, I mean, Kyle was like a 10th or 11th grader in high school. Back in Pennsylvania, he came to the Matt Rhule football camp at Temple University. Hadn't even started a game in high school, I don't think yet. And Coop, I think Coop offered him a scholarship, on the spot. I don't know if you're allowed to back then, maybe he called him, whatever, but offered him a scholarship. And I remember yelling at Coop, like, why would we offer a 10th grader in high school a scholarship? That was kind of before that was real popular. And Coop said, just trust me. And so on draft night, that's all Coop wanted to talk about was, I told you, I know how to evaluate. But Kyle's first of all, he's an awesome person, awesome family. I think that's a big part of it to begin with. And then, he's a wide receiver and a tight end body. I mean, he's one of the best wide receivers in the draft, and he's one of, obviously was the top tight end in the draft. And so great ball skills, great quickness, great, explosiveness. He can be physical. He can be fast. He can do it all. He's a kind of a generational talent coming out in this year's draft. I went to his pro day. I mean, he can do things that, not many people can do in any position. So a special athlete, and, they're using him, and he's making a ton of plays.
Thank you.
Matt, can you also update us on Burris and Hartsfield and what it would mean to get those guys back, as well as Gilmore, if he's ready to go, what that would kind of do for your whole secondary and the defense as a whole?
Yeah, I mean, at least in practice today, we had some, reinforcements out there in terms of the bodies and the people and the experience. Burris is in that same position. He's in that return to play window. He's, starting to practice. We're seeing where he's at, what he can do. Miles started that last week. So Miles practiced last week and this week. So all of those guys potentially could be up this week. It's one of those deals where I'll wake up tomorrow and go see Kevin and see how everyone feels after treatment and hope that they can go again tomorrow. So, but it would mean a great deal. We spent a lot of time in training, OTAs and training those guys for these positions, these opportunities. Other guys have stepped up. Champ stepped up. Sam Franklin stepped up. I thought one of the real bright spots in the game this past week was Kenny Robinson's play. Kenny Robinson went in there and played safety and was really physical. So, you through adversity, sometimes you uncover guys that, hey, you know what, he got an opportunity, he can do what he can do, but we also get these guys back. So we should be, when they're all back, if it's this week, we should be, deeper. And I think when you're deep, then that allows you to be diverse with your packages and versatile. And that's how we intended it. And it's kind of hopefully getting back to that.
We have time for a few more. Let's go to Ellis Williams, followed by Will Palacic.
Hey, Coach. First, nice to meet you. I'm Ellis Williams, Observer's new Panthers writer, at least meeting you virtually. You touched on Sam Darnold's mechanics. I'm wondering, in your experience, how do you get a quarterback to slow down and play more in rhythm? And you mentioned his footwork as well. Do you think that once you get the footwork right, his eyes will follow? Because there's been times where he locks on and he's missing guys in his read and just not getting to his progressions.
Yeah, I'm not gonna. I don't. I'd have to talk very specific. I don't want to confirm like, hey, he's missing this or missing that. Like, because I mean, every play is a new play. You know what I'm saying, Ellis? I think for me, it's like the overriding thing that I'm seeing is just with his lower half. And the way we teach it is, the way we look at it is, your feet should set the timing and set the tempo, and then your eyes follow. So I think the biggest thing is getting his feet back underneath him and getting him to play with the right tempo. I think when you go back and you watch the great quarterbacks, the guys who played for a long time, the Aaron Rodgerses, the Tom Brady's, like, they have so many reps and so much experience, and they've played their way through, good times and bad times, that they can just kind of self-regulate. And I think Sam is working so hard and always kind of pushing ahead to like the next week and what's next and this week's practice. And I think taking some time today with me and some time hopefully by himself and some time with Sean to go back and look at, hey, this is what it looked like when you were doing it right. I'm hoping that gave him a mental picture of, okay, this is what I need to do. So, we've got to get him back to that. And, we don't need him to guess. We don't need him to say, I think if this guy's going to be open or whatever. I just need him to go through the footwork, and I know he can do it. So seeing it, I think, was the first step. And it's like any golfer. It's like it's like anybody that works on their craft. When you start not hitting the ball right, sometimes you just have to go right back to the basics, go back to your stance, go back to your fundamentals, slow your tempo down, take a breath. And, I think that's what Sam needs to do right now. And hopefully that results in something good this Sunday.
Okay. Thanks, Matt.
Thank you. Nice to meet you.
Matt, I know these things change because of the way the season goes, and, you have personnel in and out because of injuries, but how much is your current offensive philosophy aligned or a departure from what you thought it might have been going into the season?
We wanted to come in this year. We wanted to throw the ball on rhythm, with an excellent, drop back game. We wanted to run the football and be good and play action in the middle of the field. We said we were going to become a wide zone team. We thought, just do more of it. So I think we're trying to trend in those directions. When we've been able to drop back and throw the ball well and convert third downs, I mean, we've moved the ball. Obviously when you lose a player like Christian, it changes kind of your focus. A lot of those reps were him, and Chuba was kind of in another role. So you're trying to transition that, but all that really matters at least to me right now, you get to the end of the year, we'll look through and say, hey, what do we do well, not do well? All that really matters to me right now is what can we do well against Atlanta? What are the best things that we're doing right now? And, how can we, stay on the field on third down? How can we, help our quarterback play his best? How can we get guys involved that can make plays? So to me, it's about this week and right now, those big, macro view type deals. To me, those, you're trying the best you can to do them on the fly, but you're really handling those on the bye week or in the off season. And I think, we'll wait for those and figure out where we're headed after that. But right now, to me, it's about, hey, this game, this week, these guys and our team and getting ourselves ready to play.
All right, that's all the time we have for today. Thanks, Coach.
Thank you, guys.